Welcome back. Today I've got a bit of a high tide at 11:30, so it's not great, but we're gonna crack on anyway.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get the frame and a web frame done, and we're gonna get our knee back up.
Hopefully. That's our plan anyway. It's a bit late in the day, so we need to proper push on today, don't we? Hey Mills, and you gonna help today?
Yeah!
We've got some frame to bash out here for you, see all this rotten?
So let's go get Amelia a hammer.
So as I say, the water's coming in, so we're going to be working up high for now. Jumper's removed quite a bit of it already. I just noticed they aren't roved, because obviously the whole structure of the boat was built first before the planks went on. So the frames, the stringers and the web frames were all assembled. So they couldn't actually get to the back of, they couldn't get to the frame behind the web frame to put the rove on. So they're just purely nails, so that's quite interesting. But we will put a rove straight through behind, and then we'll put the web on because we're doing the repair, so should technically be stronger. So because the water's coming in, I don't think we'll go too far down, because around where my hand is now, that's the water line. So I'm going to start prepping it all up here, cut all the nails off, get it painted, and then we'll start digging into the bilge. While we're like waiting for the water to come and all that, I just want to say thanks to everyone, basically. Nothing in particular. Thanks to the patrons, thanks to everyone watching, thanks for everybody sharing. You know, because without you guys, we would not be this far ahead. So, cheers guys. So I just had a lot of debate with Gemma about wearing these, and she won. So I need to like appease people, because everyone's like, oh, you gotta protect your ears and protect your ears, and I'm like, well, what if someone's in trouble? What if Amelia's down in the cabin now and I can't hear her? And then Gemma did point out that she's here, so.
Get to work and stop moaning about your PPE.
So now just using the grinder with the, well, I call them flappy wheels. I'm just going to run my hand along the hull and where the old screws are. If there's anything high, I'm just going to like slightly machine them back, because that helps with us slipping the new frame down.
So we've got a bit of a hole in a plank where there must have been, I think that it was a knot.
Yeah, I pulled the knot out.
You pulled the knot out, so I'm just going to put some thickened epoxy in it. I can dry now while we're working on the scarf joints. Should we have a look what mess is under here? So this is the frame and the web frame that we're doing now, and we really need to be able to see the bottom of it, so we need to move these big blocks of lead, which
You like doing that though, don't you?
they're small, but they're really, 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 really heavy.
Go on then, I'll pass it to me. Fucking hell. I don't want to roll it, so I've got stuff in the pocket.
Stay there, I'll get you the bag.
Okay, I'm going to roll it first.
That definitely must weigh more than me.
Time to get the scales out. So we're only weighing all this so we know, documented it, and we know where it goes in the boat basically. So well, let's see if it weighs more than Gemma. I doubt it.
8 stone.
Does 50 kilos. Too bad.
Whoa! We're actually floating.
Yeah, no.
And that was a big rock there.
Oh, your big boat just went
I
past.
did, a big boat just gone past, and I'm sat there and going, whoa, why do I feel dizzy? It wasn't, it was the boat moving.
So what's the plan now?
Cut the scarves into the frame that we're joining to in the web frame.
So I'm now going to be starting me scarf joint on the web frame. So I always do like a bit of a sample cut, so we cut it, keep it long for a bit. But yeah, it actually looks really, really good, the interior of the wood. So if I come down here much further, 6 inches, then we should reveal some beautiful timber.
So, I've painted the boat. Yay! I'm going to leave that to dry and go and have some dinner and then come back.
So we've had our dinner, paint's dry enough to work with now, so what we're going to do, framing first.
Rove it.
Oh, we're going to nail it. So we're going to do...
We're going to put the frame in, we're going to rove that one,
yeah.
then we're going to do the web frame.
Ah, okay, cool.
Let's go.
Let's go. You there?
I'm here.
We're in the right guidance.
Yeah.
We're in about middle.
You can point it towards the front a bit more.
You want the bottom towards the front?
Yeah. Okay.
Go. Good, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. Right, hold on. Just go slow now because you're coming towards the stringer. Okay, you through that.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Right, steady over the stringer. Go on. Just epoxying up the joints on the first frame.
So you can see how tight the tolerances are because it's taken the paint off. So the tolerance between the stringer and the hull is bang on. So it's obviously removed some paint, but
You know why? Because we measured it the perfect gap and we've cut our wood the perfect measurement.
Whoa.
And I like the half a mil of paint it's gone on. We just didn't
I
have
think paint's
the space.
measured in microns.
Microns, half, whatever. I don't know what a micron is, come on.
1 micron.
But yeah, so as we've slipped the frame in, it has damaged our paint, but that's because we're so precision on the size we've cut the wood.
It's a good sign, isn't it?
But I can touch it up, so it's fine.
So we're now going to drill all the holes. I'm drill them from the inside this time because there wasn't actually any going right through to reference. So we have to drill new holes. What was I going to say? So we're going to use a short drill bit to start because if we do catch any of the original fixings that were in there because it was just nails, then if we break this, I'm not that fussed. But we've only got one long enough drill bit, haven't we? But we've actually got one at the workshop. But we do opening videos, don't we, on Facebook?
Yes. So come over to Facebook.
Yeah, because we have like an Amazon wish list, or people send us stuff, and we do. It's quite nice to sort of get this actually open and thank people because they usually send like a little note, don't they? So yeah, for now we're just going to use our short one, just in case you break it, and then we'll switch to the long one.
Go on then.
Go on then. So now we'll go through with our longer drill bit. Now confirm, I can see outside. Red light.
Ready, steady, go!
One sec, I'm just trying to get out of the mud. Okay, now we're stuck there.
So, we are just about to fit our first ever web frame.
Yep. And I'm in a hole.
Get out my bilge.
I'll climb out of this hole. Right, so plans. So we've already got these scarf cuts on the web frame. For some reason I put it on the foredeck, but we're going to be fitting it on the inside anyway. So we now need, so if you look on an original. I know it's very, very poorly, so it has like a little spreader block. I'm going to call it a spreader block because obviously the weight from the knees goes into there and spreads it about. So we now need to cut the spreader block for here. Slightly messed up by we've roved this, but we can relieve the back of the spreader block and then that'll slip in nice. And then we need another spreader block to go in here. Once the spreader blocks are in, we're then going to get our web frame. We're going to do a slight overcut, so we're going to overcut it up to here, but it's obviously still too long at the moment, so we're going to do an overcut, then we're going to come down and then we're going to copy where the beam's notched out. Obviously this beam is being changed, but it'd be nice to actually get it in position, because initially I was going to cut the beam off and then leave it long, but I don't think that's a good idea. It'd be nice to match it now. What we need to be very wary of is that these beams are actually at the right height. So we're going to go measure, so from this beam to this beam to this beam to this beam to get a good average, make sure this one hasn't sagged, and if it has we need to correct it before we do our cut. So we're going to go do some thinking. So we was actually donated this chop saw by one of our followers called Mally, so cheers buddy.
For me? Bit more. Stop.
Sure.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to notch out for the rove so it sits flat, and then I'm going to paint both edges and get that in. I'm marking it so I know where the roves are, so I've lined it up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it a little tap with the hammer now, and then hopefully the roves will make a little indent into it, and then I can like chisel it out a bit. Moment of truth.
She did say she's going to do a little tap, but...
Oh, there you go. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Just to allow for the little nipple on the peening bit. I'm gonna get a bit of a small...
Nipple!
You're so childish. I'm gonna get a smaller drill bit and just do a bit more in the middle.
So to fix this in place, we're going to epoxy it, and then I've had an idea, because like epoxy is very, very stiff, so I'm going to use some adhesive. This is our favourite company that provides us with, like, it's worth, but it's quite expensive stuff. So it's got a picture of like a boat wheel on the back, so it must be
Got a picture of a boat on the front as well.
Yeah, it's got a picture of a boat on it, so I think that's why it was expensive.
This is basically just the equivalent to Sikaflex.
Yeah, so if anybody's had any experience with PU marine adhesive sealant multi, let us know. Is it any good?
So there we go. Done my job.
See if she fits first.
I'm going to see if she fits. Then once I know it fits, I'm going to paint it up.
Oh, that's in. Has it got a thing that the boat's a bit curvy there as well?
Perfect!
Has it got?
Yeah.
Paint time. Quick paint tips by Simon.
Do you want the brush?
Nope.
No. That's just going to go everywhere. See, this is why I don't let you paint.
Yeah, but it's properly coated, isn't it?
It is properly coated. And I think we'll be properly coated handling them. Sometimes I feel like I've got 3 kids. Let them dry for a minute.
So what we're doing now is we're using the, I'm going to call it Sicker, it's not Sicker, it's a different make. So to basically take up the gap between, and it'll also provide a bit of flex. So, but I'm going to screw them down with some A4 stainless steel screws, which I've been saving these because they were very expensive. Oh yeah. Oh, you told everybody what you've bought for work. So because we've become very fond of Ryobi tools, so we've now bought ourselves a cordless 18-volt corking gun, haven't we, Jem?
Yeah.
So,
and because the amount of bathrooms and stuff I seal up, and I hate guns. But also we thought it would be quite useful when we're doing the decks to like seal the seams.
yeah. Has it got a fit? Oh. Fit a minute ago, didn't it? I've noticed with this boat project, my hammer collection's grown.
We love hammers.
Yeah, all I need to do now is I'm going to buy myself a big hammer. Right, do you want to push some screws?
Yeah.
Right. 2 screws. The only thing I don't like about A4 screws is they're quite soft. Totally the sound. That's good there. Do you want the other one?
Yeah, go on then.
Why does that one land short?
Because that's where the beam sits.
Oh.
So, you know, because you notched out round your deck beam, and the deck beam sits there. You're doing a web frame!
Doing a thing. What does it look like?
It looks boss. Imagine when they're all done.
Just imagine.
Just imagine.
So, just because you're filming, I won't ask you help.
You can build a boat without me, can't you?
Easy.
I'm a woman, I should be at home.
You got no like cleaning to do or something? Do ask Margie.
Women can't build boats.
Women can't build boats. I was actually saying earlier to Gemma, I was like, thank you. Because without Gemma, obviously this project would not go ahead. And like, I was just watching her, admiring her, she's there like getting stuck in, and she's a good wife. Put an advert in the paper soon. For sale. We'll swap for. What should we swap you for?
Go on, what would be a better swap than me? Go on, I'm waiting for this.
I'm joking.
I know, but I want to know what you...
Seriously, she puts me on the spot here. You know, I've seen it genuinely before.
No, but
like...
what would be if you had... You know, like when you go to like go on holiday and you go...
Oh, no.
I'll sell... You know, would you swap you for like 5 camels or whatever? What would actually...
Nothing could replace you, could it?
No, but it's the sort of night you've always wanted, where you might consider swapping me if someone went, yeah, do you want this?
No, that's stupid. Right, stop filming then. We'll come back to this.
I'm just trying to like...
Pause. This is just going on the...
I'm just trying to know me wave.
So what we're doing now, we've realised this The end of this beam has actually sagged about 5mm, but it's quite important that we keep all this straight because soon as well we're going to be putting the knee back on. So there's no point putting the knee back on if this is sagged a little bit. So we're just going to do a bit of pushing. Okay, pause there. Okay. So as you can see, as the camera can see, it's actually rocking ever so slightly on this beam. So it's not, we're not bothered about the beam because the beam's being replaced, but it's about the location of the knee. So what Gem's going to do now is pump on the porter power, and we're going to hopefully get rid of that wobble. Pump, pump, pump. And this piece of wood. Okay, that's a good sign. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. One more. And there it goes. Easy as pie. Was that any effort in that?
No.
Okay, so that shows how much it can move. Can you help me get rid of this? So now we can measure and mark our web frame to go underneath the beam, because then that's going to temporarily hold the beam up, and then we can look into putting the knee in. Well, it's going to be our first web frame being installed. I'm excited. What are you doing?
Yay!
It's been a long road. Oh yeah. That's holding the deck there. I can pop it up.
Don't stand on my epoxy.
I don't want to do anything too silly as that, would I? So, as we said earlier, what we did is put a couple of screws in it.
I think if we screw into the stringers, then we can take the screws back out to rove.
Okay, I like it. I know what it was.
So, we've not used the massive nails before. So these are 200mm copper nails. So the problem that I've got is the original rove tools that we made, they don't fit in.
I had an epiphany about 6 o'clock last night leaving work. I was like, I knew we were sort of doing this job, but this was on the boat, so I couldn't drill this one, so
Simon's made me a new one. Ta-da!
But hopefully it's new and improved, because I don't know if anybody uses air chisels. So I basically cut the end off an air chisel and then interference fitted it into just a piece of random steel. So that now fits.
That now fits.
Cool. And look, we've got some big drill bits, because we actually bought these drill bits when we bought the other drill bits, didn't we?
Yeah.
To suit these nails. So we've now got some super long drill bits.
So that's our part 2 of make your own roving tools. He's not a bad one, is he, my husband? And because this one is originally for a, an air chisel as well, it's all hardened steel, so I shouldn't have the issue of it sticking in my gun like I've been having. I think you just killed a crab outside.
Still stuck on the end. Cool, that's a long way through that.
Time for the big boys to come out to play. Okay, so it's got 4 copper nails pinned into it. It's getting quite late in the day now, I think it's about 5:30. So instead of carrying on roving them all, what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to get the knee fixed in, so we can get it covered back up.
Cool, so we need to drill a couple, and what I'm planning on doing at the moment is just like clamping it up with threaded bar, because that'll keep it all tight then, won't it? So. Cool, that's plan, threaded bar.
The reason that we're saying we're going to put threaded bar in it is because outside, don't forget, there's still this ply. So we can't rove it because we don't want to take this down yet. So as a temporary thing, we're just going to put the threaded bar in.
So we now drilled our holes. I'll put some smaller holes in at the moment just to put the, as a temporary. So we're going to use these for alignment for now. Show the impact, shouldn't I? So this is the bit we normally do at the end of the day. You have to close it all up, put the sheets back on, because we basically cut holes in the deck, obviously to get the stuff down, but then the holes we cut, the piece doesn't fit back in, does it?
Look at that sunset.
Sweet. I'm holding the sun.
You little ray of sunshine, you. Okay,
so the knees on, we've got one copper fixing. So we've got a copper fixing, some threaded bar, some lag bolts, and some more bolts up into the original deck beam. So we now need to release the pulse power. Do you want me to release it? Can you stand there?
I'll stand further down because if the roof caves in, it'll land on you before me.
What's going to happen now? That was quick, John. Decision. On or off, up on.
Our first web frame. I am happy.
Yeah, she's a beast. I think.
Our first non-rusty knee.
First non-rusty knee. As you saw, what did you see? Going around in the cement mixer. So we've now got some different approaches to cleaning them up now, haven't we?
Yes. So that today was a success.
Yeah, very good.
So I'm well happy with that. We've got a frame in, we've got a web frame, we've got the knee back on. Yeah. All good.
So the boat's basically 200mm wide, so it's a good strong boat, isn't it?
Yes. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe.
Yeah.
And consider joining us on Patreon because it really does help support the project.
Yeah.
These are all amazing, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Look at my gorgeous new web frame. Yay.
What should we call this episode? Webzilla. Someone will get the connection there. Apart from Gemma.
Godzilla?
No, Webzilla.
Yeah. What's the...